Hello, welcome to another reading. This is going to be a general reading, not a one-to-one reading. Just want to make sure you're aware, although I imagine a lot of what I say will resonate with you. But if it doesn't, just feel free to leave it for somebody else and we'll go ahead and get started. So take a deep breath and relax your shoulders. All right. Initially, what I'm getting is The Yellow Submarine. I don't know if you might have just recently been listening to that song or the Beatles in general, but that is the first kind of image that I get here. And some of you are really, as you're looking at life right now, some of you are really noticing the absurdity of it. And I think that song comes up as well because it's kind of an absurd song, but it is also kind of a commentary on a specific way of doing society as well. And you might be looking out in the general public, but even in your own personal lives, because they're mirroring each other right now. And you might be noticing just like, what is going on? It's not necessarily following a logical path or pattern that it has been following in the past. For example, some of you might be working really hard, harder than ever, yet your money is dwindling more than it ever was. And that is because there has been a serious energy shift. But if you look back in the recent past, like I'm going back to the 90s. If you worked harder, you got paid more. And not only that, but the money that you made from that work was enough to sustain you. At this point, getting paid more isn't even quite enough to sustain you. There's a significant amount that would need to be made in order to make all the money and all the numbers make sense. And it's like, how do we get to a place where the output and the input are balanced again? And that's not the bad news is that we're not really in a place where that is going to work out like it used to. Part of the reason why things aren't adding up is because big change is needed. And so the things people used to do aren't going to necessarily get them as far as they used to get them. But the good news is eventually what we are transitioning into is a better situation for all involved. Some of the things that were really difficult about the recent past, where we were excelling and improving and increasing certain things, was there was a margin of people who were very, very left behind. And this is a theme that circulates and cycles throughout history. However, we're in a unique time where it's almost like if you imagine a rubber band being pulled in two opposite directions, that's how it's been. We've had people significantly increasing and significantly decreasing. And now at this point, the middle section of that rubber band is pulling both ends back inward, so that it is less about advancement and it is more about collectively rising together. And part of this is because of, I don't know if you have heard of the age of Aquarius or what Aquarius brings in, but Aquarius is all about community. And we're kind of still at the precipice of the shift to this new age. But basically the previous age was the age of Pisces, and that was about kind of creating this utopian culture where you have like authority and you outsource your vision and your dream to the authority to make it happen. But now the age of Aquarius is very much the energy of revolution and power to the people, because it's about the community rising together and claiming what is theirs. So makes sense that there would be some serious unrest going on in this transitional stage. So a lot of us are still very safe, still in our homes, but also in one case, like on the brink in some areas of our lives. And if you're looking around and you're like, make it make sense, it's not going to make sense. And I just want to validate that it looks really odd right now, where you can feel totally comfortable, where you can look at a screen, a box in your living room or in your hand, and see one side of the world in this terrible, horrible, torturous experience, and the other side of this world, like District 1 of Hunger Games extravagance type of thing going on. And like I said, that concept isn't necessarily new, but the way that we're approaching that concept is. And ultimately, at the bottom of it is the systems in place need to change. So another thing to keep in mind, and I know I've mentioned this in previous readings, but it's really important not to villainize people on either extremes, even if you villainize what they're doing or the actions of people. It's important not to villainize the people themselves, because we are a product of our environment and our genetics and the stars, and we're doing the best that we can with what we've got. And yet we can always be doing better, all of us. So one thing that's really important right now is to be very patient with yourself. You might actually have some experiences, either this week or coming up soon, where you find yourself being a little bit maybe embarrassed about either something you said in the past, or some comment that you might have made. Maybe it was something online, a blog post that you either wrote or, promoted. And what I want to say as this isn't something that's going to shame you all the way down, but this is something where you might feel these light embarrassments, but it's important to be really patient with yourself because things are changing so quickly. All we can really do is show up in the moment. We really cannot get ahead of ourselves right now. Because what you have said in the past, you may have been fully in integrity saying that, fully aligned with yourself, or aligned as much as possible. But then as we gain new information, we start to learn, maybe, and we question, and maybe that wasn't the best way to look at it. Maybe this is. And it's really easy to get in the habit of being like, oh I cannot believe I said that. I can't believe I did that. What is wrong with me? Even in a light sense of just a little bit of an embarrassment, that's a normal thing to have happen and occur. But the reason why you might be seeing those or feeling those a little bit is because things are going more quickly, and a lot of people are putting their opinion out there in this incredibly strong way. And so when you hear somebody who has an opinion about something that you used to say or think or feel or believe, and you kind of see it in a new light and question yourself a little bit, it's really important to be patient with yourself and the other people who are kind of intensely opposing something that you may used to have ascribed to. Things, like I said, things are changing quickly. We need to have patience with ourselves. And I know that there feels like a disconnect between you and the public at large in a lot of ways. Maybe you can't relate to these major groups, or maybe the best way to say it is you can't relate to the loudest groups all of the time. But what's important to know is that you can affect change, first of all, and best and most, by going within, by addressing yourself and giving yourself more love than you used to. So if you are feeling an embarrassment now and then, that's a perfect opportunity to go within, hand on my heart. Hey, you know what? I was doing the best I could in the moment, and I don't mind making adjustments now that I know different truths or see things in a different light or a different perspective. And having that patience with yourself is something that does affect the world in a positive way. So ultimately, I am just getting a really strong sense of, yes, there is absurdity right now. I mean, you will look out and you will be so confused. about how things are going. Because it's not like it used to be, and the way you used to achieve success is not necessarily the way to achieve success anymore. And then along with that goes, anytime you choose to be kinder to yourself, somebody in the world chooses to be kinder to another person. And the spirit of the age of Aquarius is true. We do rise together. We can't rise more than our lowest common denominator. So yes, we there's wiggle room and there's room to explore, but we really do all need to keep in mind that it's important to be patient for others to catch up. And the way we be patient with them is to be patient with the parts of ourselves that still need to catch up with the growth that we've achieved in other areas. You see how everything within is without, as above, so below, that hermetic principle rings true here, rings especially true here. So if you're looking around and you're like, oh my gosh, we're in, like, some places are in shambles, things are going insane, I want to encourage you to go within and just kind of do a thorough self-love job. Where can I promote myself? Where can I be kinder to myself? In what areas can I be more accepting of where I'm at and more patient as I journey? I don't know if you can hear in the background, but I've got a little baby going off in there. So I'm going to go ahead and end this reading here. Thank you so much for listening. As always, let me know if it resonates with you, and we'll chat soon. Bye.